guys? It's Eric again, back with another video. I can't really say that I'm surprised that Detroit lost on Thanksgiving, but they did to the Green Bay Packers, 29-22. I'm not going to go over any of the stats or anything like that. I really didn't watch the whole entire game. I kind of watched bits and pieces of it, but there was a theme even coming on when I watched the game in the bits and pieces that I did. A lot of time was spent with family on Thanksgiving. I hope you guys all had a good Thanksgiving, so kind of let's get right into this here, guys, because a lot of what I'm going to say is a lot of what other content creators are saying that I'm probably going to be mirroring them, maybe not mirroring them, but being very similar to what they are saying. The Lions, the offensive line, the defensive line, Jared Goff, just played poorly today. The score didn't really reflect on how bad each unit was, but the units were bad. The offensive line couldn't seem to protect enough for Jared Goff. And also Jared Goff kind of held on to the ball a little bit longer than what we're all used to seeing here from him. We're used to seeing him dropping back and kind of firing the ball right then and there. He kind of knew right where he was going with the football. And now it kind of seems where he's kind of hanging on to the football and kind of wanting to let the play develop. And then he ends up throwing the ball, which ends up being what we kind of seen yesterday, which was him fumbling the football. There was a fumble football for a pick or a touchdown for Green Bay. I almost said for the Bears, but for Green Bay. Just really not a good outing for Jared Goff. And I could potentially say the same thing for the offensive line, although I wonder how much of that was Jared Goff holding on to the football too here. The offensive line kind of seemed, the protections didn't seem to be the right protection to call here at some points during the game, where they kind of a little bit of a delayed blitz where they wouldn't pick it up, or the offensive line wouldn't shout out the right protection call, or kind of whatever that's kind of being done on here. They kind of seem to be always a step behind Green Bay. Green Bay kind of played really well here, guys. My last video that I had on there with Sean Gary, he had 3 sacks, and that's one of the players that I said in my pregame video, my preview video, was one of the ones that Detroit was really going to have to keep their eye on. And he ended up getting 3 sacks, so they didn't really do a very good job keeping Rashawn Gary out of the backfield for Detroit. The wide receiving core didn't really do all that great. J-Mo stretched the defense there a little bit, but what good was that when the defense of the Green Bay Packers could kind of tee off anytime that they wanted, which was really kind of back again to Detroit's offensive line woes. It's kind of really what that is. The defensive line for Detroit really couldn't do much better, guys. They couldn't seem to get any pressure on Jordan Love and made him have, at times, a good amount of time to throw the football. He either checked it down or he had enough time to go, that's where I'm going with the football, and boom, hitting with the football. Our pass defense is atrocious right now. I don't know what has made it that way to make it that. I kind of think it's C.J. Gardner-Johnson not being in there for as long as he's been, and he was kind of one of the cornerstone pieces of the defense, and now he's gone, and the Lions have kind of made do with the lesser talent on the other side of the ball. But as kind of time has gone on here, we have seen the pass defense be very, very poor. I kind of see it even at times where the defensive line is not containing the run at times, where they kind of being gashed, which that's been a constant theme here for the last couple of years for Detroit, and I don't think that's been shored up all that well. Now, I didn't really take a look at Jack Campbell for the Lions, because once that got to be like 21-6, I kind of just checked out, but it was like, you know what, they're not going to do anything, and sure enough, they didn't. So I kind of checked out, went with my friends and family, and came back in and kind of watched it a little bit more, and by that time, it was pretty much out of reach at that point. I think they scored it was like 26-14 or something like that, and at that point, the Lions weren't going to end up winning the game. But I know I'm kind of bouncing all around here, and I apologize for that, but the offense, the defense, and Jared Goff, it's a whole team problem now. I don't know what has changed to make it that way. But I wasn't happy with the Bears win, and I'm certainly not happy with the the Lions win. Now, I say not happy as just kind of being a casual fan and just kind of shaking my head, you know, kind of being like, well, we escaped one. And you could even go back to saying that we escaped the Raiders, too. We escaped that game. But to me, this is the 4th week in a row that the Lions have been playing, to me, I don't want to say subpar football, but not the football we were seeing in the last 6 weeks of the season, or the first 6 weeks of the season. I mean, Detroit was kind of going on a little bit of a tear there for a little bit. Now, I don't know, were they just playing way above where their talent level was? Was just everyone kind of knowing where that was at, or was it the talent level on the other side of the ball? To me, I kind of think it's a breakdown kind of somewhere. That's where it kind of seems to be to me. I'm not really, and I'm going to kind of go back to Dan Campbell's kind of press conference here. I'm concerned. I'm not to the point of being, oh my God, what's kind of going on here, and being in panic mode. I'm not in panic mode yet. I'm in concerned mode because there's still a lot of football left to play. We still have the Vikings to play twice. We have the Cowboys and we have the Saints coming up, and I think there's one game in between there that we've got here as well. Now the Vikings are only 2 games back of us, depending on what happens on Sunday. That could potentially be something to kind of be concerned about. I think it's almost like 2.5 games, depending on if they win or not. But there is a lot of stuff Detroit has to get done and get right. I think Brad Holmes didn't do his self justice by getting Crosby in here. I don't know how hard he tried to get Crosby in here, or some kind of, I'm not going to say Montez Sweat or that kind of level of caliber person, but someone to help out Adrian Hutchinson on the one side of the ball, because that man kind of seems to get double teamed quite a bit and held and kind of whatever, and the rest of the team just isn't doing enough to get that push to go to the quarterback like they were in the first 6 weeks of the season. I don't know what's necessarily going on with this football team, but if they don't come around and fix it here quick, we're going to kind of back ourselves into the playoffs and maybe even getting a first. It's a kind of a one and done for us. We made the playoffs, but we don't make it anywhere. And a lot of people then are going to be really upset at this football team for starting out really well and then kind of, if it happens, backing themselves into the playoffs, and then if they don't fix anything, going in there and laying an egg on the wild card weekend, and that's it for Detroit. I will be one. I'm not going to say I'm going to be upset and screaming at the clouds or anything like that, but I'm going to kind of be sitting here thinking, what is going on over there in Detroit, man? I'll be kind of one of those people, not the people that are screaming at the clouds and everything like that. But something to be really concerned about here, guys. Let me know what you guys think right down there in the comments. Let me know what you guys kind of thought of the football game. Give this a thumbs up if you like this video. Give it a thumbs down if you do not, guys. And also make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification so you guys get more videos just like this one. Alright guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope to see you guys again soon. Have a good Thanksgiving Day weekend. Deuces. Take care, guys.